Today's broadcast includes affiliate promotions with our partners like Tona and Distill Union, to name a few. When you use our promo code FSEN, we may earn a small commission. This helps us to keep bringing you awesome sports coverage.
Daily Crew, we're back. Man, it's been a crazy week. A lot of basketball yesterday. We've got high school playoff football games tomorrow, basketball and football on Friday. Slam-packed sports schedule, folks. And, hey, let's jump right into it. We want to give you guys – we said that we was going to take Wednesday and kind of look at the high school football playoffs. But before we jump into that, we are going to do some recap of the high school games from yesterday. We're going to take a look at the top 10 just so that we're not taking up a lot of time because there was a lot of games, a lot of good games for sure. So let's jump into it. So number one, Americas wins 69-18 over Pebble Hills. Americas is now 2-0 on the season, and Pebble Hills falls to 1-1. I think many people might have thought that game might have been closer, but I think this is a down year for Pebble Hills. After the season that they had, that senior group that they graduated, it's gonna be a tough season for them for sure. But hey, that's why we play the games, right? Number two, Montwood upends number 9 Andrews 64-23. Folks, I thought that Andrews would be better than what they have shown so far this season. Montwood is now 2-0. Andrews falls to 0-2. Tell you, the power rankings are going to definitely change come Sunday. Well, it'll probably be Monday when I put them out because I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town this weekend. Number 3, Franklin beats number 8, Bel Air 67-31. So both teams are now 1-1 on the season. Number 4, Chapin. Now, this is what we said was the game of the day yesterday. Number 4, Chapin versus number 6, Eastlake. Number 4, Chapin loses to Eastlake 47-40. Chapin is now 1-1 in the season, while Eastlake is now 2-0. Folks, those are two really good teams. Like, we've had this first week of games, we've had two huge matchups from some of the top teams in the city. Franklin taking on Americas, now Chapin and Eastlake. I'm telling you, these have been some slug matches. Those have been some really good games, really close games. Now, the next game, number 5, Eastwood wins 47-24 over Hanks. Eastwood is now 2-0 in the season. Hanks falls to 0-2. Number 7, Burgess takes the easy 79-100 win over Riverside. Burgess is now 2-0 in the season, and Riverside falls to 0-2. And the last top 10 team is number 10, El Paso High, beats Coronado 57-34. El Paso is now 2-0 on the season. Coronado falls to 1-1. Folks, I got to tell you, that 5A division is going to be a tough one. That's going to be some really good games once they start district play. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy when they start playing. Then there's going to be some top matchups in the 6A as well. And now we're going to wrap up basketball so last night, game that was streamed live on FSEN, had Canutil beats Socorro 57-45. The Eagles are now 1-1. Socorro falls to 0-2. So Canutil was led by senior Nikki Davila with 19 points and freshman Liara Wilkes with 14 points. Now, I got to tell you, folks, that was a really good game if you didn't get to watch it. And I'm going to be transparent here. We forgot to record it. Didn't hit the record button. We got so caught up in the game, didn't hit the record button. You missed a good one last night. I got to tell you, can't go back and watch it. I apologize. That's on me. Won't happen again. We've put some things in place to where that won't happen again. So that's our quick roundup of high school games around the Borderland. Like I said, there was a bunch of games. That's the top 10. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we will be right back right after this, I think. Hold on. Let me make sure. Maybe not. Oh, here we go. We'll be right back after this.
When it comes to your safety, good enough doesn't cut it. That's why you need the best work gloves. Bare knuckles, gloves for any job, anywhere.
Cozy Earth redefines luxury sleep with its best-selling bamboo sheet set, made from 100% premium viscose from bamboo. Their pajama set brings a touch of elegance to relaxation, combining style and supreme comfort for nights in. Use promo code FSEN and receive 41% off your entire order.
Embrace individuality with Acolor's diverse collection designed to stand out and make a statement wherever you go. Designed in sunny Los Angeles and handcrafted with precision, Acolor sunglasses deliver durability and comfort, keeping you stylish and protected all day long. Use promo code FSEN and get 10% off your entire order.
When it comes to your safety, good enough doesn't cut it.
All right, folks, we are back to the show. And like we said in the beginning, you're going to see some promotional ads during our show. That's how we're able to continue to provide quality content for you guys for free. Got to pay the bills around here for sure. The studio is not free. Wish it was, but it's not. Now let's jump right back into it. So let's take a look real quick at the high school playoff schedule that's coming up. There's a lot of games, and it starts on Thursday. Kicks off on Thursday. So let's take a quick look at what that breakout looks like, and then we'll jump into the games. There's 17 teams playing. We're going to jump into each one. So on Thursday, we got Irving playing West Plains. Isleta playing Canyon. Both those games at 6 o'clock. The El Paso teams are away. 5A by district. You got Hanks traveling to Palo Duro. Bel Air goes to Abilene, and then Del Valle hosts Lubbock Cooper. Then you got Pebble Hills on the road going to Central to play in the 6A by district. These are all Thursday's games. So there's 6 games on Thursday. Then we jump into Friday. Friday in the 3A, Anthony kicks it off where they travel to Wall. Then 4A, you got Riverside playing a neutral site game against Dumas. Austin travels to Randall. Then you're on the by-district side, Parkland goes to Tascosa, Chapin goes to Abilene Cooper, and then Andress hosts Memorial at 6:30. All the other games were at 6 o'clock. Then you got in the 6A by district, you got Eastwood hosting Friendship. Eastlake travels to Permian, and then Franklin has a neutral site game against Legacy High School. And then the last 2 games are, we got El Dorado hosting Amarillo High here in El Paso, and America's hosting Monterey. Both those games are at the SAC 1 and 2. Now, let's jump back to the show. Now, we're going to take a dive into these games. It's a lot of games. Got to say, it is a lot of games. We're going to start with Irving. So Irving, 5-5 on the season, hosts West Plains, who is 9-1. They will play at a neutral site, as Irving will travel to Seminole, Texas, on Thursday, November 13th, for the game time on 6 p.m., and that is Central Standard Time. So 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. El Paso time. Taking a look at the two teams, Irving averaging 139.7 rushing yards per game, 180 passing yards, 320 total yards of offense. The flip side of this is West Plains, 306 rushing yards, 199.8 rushing yards. West Plain is averaging 506.5 yards per game. Folks, that's a lot of offense. A lot of offense. Now, Irvin is led by Angel Valenzuela, rushing at 53 yards per game. Then you got Dallas Medina passing for 180.6 yards per game, and Michael Salazar averaging 86.6 receiving yards. But now Dallas Medina's total yards, 200 per game. Flip side, Irvin's got to stop Slade Russell, averaging 169.8 yards per game. Then you got Reed Macon passing for 198.1. And then Kane White Tinsley averaging 64.7 yards per game. But then you got Reed Macon averaging 243.5 yards per game. So Irvin's going to have their hands full. This is a high potent offense. A high potent offense. And my prediction is that Irvin will go down in this game. Their season will end. West Plain is averaging 49.1 points per game to Irvin's 27.8. This is going to be a tough game for the Rockets, to say the least. Good luck to you guys, but I don't think that Irvin pulls out the win here. Next up, we got Hanks going to Palo Duro. So, Palo Duro hosts a home playoff game. So, Hanks will travel to Amarillo Dick Bevins Stadium. Game time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Tale of the two tapes here. Hanks is averaging 450 total yards per game, and Palo Duro 407. Hanks is putting up 203 yards on the ground, 246 in the air. Palo Duro 174, 233. Austin Deucer leads Hanks with 153 yards per game rushing. Jordan Morales is passing for 243 per game. And Alex Robles is averaging 107 yards receiving. On the flip side, Raymond Johnson is averaging 67.8 yards per game rushing to lead Palo Duro. Julian Reese II is averaging 224 yards passing. And Darian Lewis is averaging 82.1 yards receiving. Palo Duro's 9-1 overall. Hanks is 6-4. This Palo Duro offense, and this is a really close matchup. Hanks is averaging 31.3 yards. Palo Duro is averaging 39.9. I think this one's going to come down to who can stop the run and who doesn't turn it over. This is two evenly matched teams, even though the records are different. This is two really good games. This is going to be a really good game. I think at the end of the day, I'm going to say Palo Duro wins because this is going to be a tough game for Hanks. I'm going to say that Palo Duro wins in the end, and that will be the end of Hanks' season. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. Next up, Bel Air Highlanders travel to Abilene Shotwell Stadium to face Abilene High School. The Eagles of Abilene. Again, another 6 p.m. game, 5 p.m. at Central Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in El Paso. Abilene is 8-2 on the season. Bel Air is 2-8. Bel Air is averaging 381 yards per game. Abilene 237. So this Bel Air offense has been putting up some yards. They're rushing for 223 yards, passing for another 158. Abilene on the flip side, 104 yards rushing, 133 passing. Angel Dominguez is leading Bel Air, 329.7 total yards of offense. That's 196 on the ground, Actually, 197. Let's say 197 and 133. 133 rushing, 197 in the air, and then Marquette Beard is leading with 96.3 yards receiving. On the other side of the ball, you got Braden Henry rushing for 72.5 yards, and Tristan Beal 140 yards passing. But now Majel Abuso's leading them with 87.5 yards receiving, but Braden Henry leads the team at 178.8 yards per game. Abilene is 4-1 at home. 4-1 at home. Bel Air's got to go into Abilene and try to pull off this victory. And Abilene's averaging 36.5 points a game to Bel Air's 28.5. I think this is going to be a tough game for Bel Air. This Abilene defense is stingy. This is going to be a tough game for Bel Air to go in and win. I think Abilene's going to pull off the victory here and end the Highlanders season. But Bel Air does have a puncher's chance here. That offense gets to clicking and they can get some stops. They get themselves a chance. But I think at the end it's going to be Abilene winning easily. Next game. Got Del Valle Conquistadors hosting Lubbock Cooper at Veterans Stadium. If you're on the east side on Thursday and you're not at that game and you claim to be a high school sports fan, you're not. You're not. That stadium should be packed. We should be there supporting this El Paso team as they try to make a run here. This is one of the top teams in the city, one of the top teams in the state, and they've got one of the top players in the state in Jake Fetty. So, Del Valle is averaging 45.5 points per game, 36.8 for Lubbock Cooper. Now, I will say that the games between Del Valle and Andrus, Del Valle and Chapin I think that's given those three teams a good test for the playoffs. Those are three really, and Ian Hanks, those are three really good teams here in the Borderland that I think have a great shot at making a run and at least getting to the second to third round. Del Valle, 490.5 yards in total offense to 409.5 for Lubbock Cooper. They're pretty even on the ground. Del Valle does lead them in passing. Jake Fetty accounts for 344.5 yards of offense for Del Valle. And then you got Josiah Nunez, the leading receiver at 98.5. On the flip side, you got Shamaine Johnson Jr. averaging 103 yards rushing for Cooper, and Ryan Rodriguez passing for 219. Then you got Cade Gant, 113 yards receiving. So Lubbock Cooper 6-4, Del Valle 9-1. I don't think this game is going to be as easy as some people might think, but I do think at the end of the day, Del Valle pulls out the win and advances. I do think they pull out the win in the end, especially being at home, that stadium packed, rocking, supporting them. I think at the end of the day, Del Valle wins that game and continues their season. Next up, we got Isleta, who will be traveling to Denver City High School to take on Canyon in the first round matchup. Ooh, I got to tell you, man, this Canyon's at 6-4, Del Valle 10-0. It's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. Del Valle 176 yards rushing, 261 passing. counting for 437 yards, Canyon 387 yards. But they're averaging 232 yards on the ground. So if Isleta can't stop the run, it's going to be a long day for the Indians. And that running game is led by Austin Turner from Canyon, 96.5 yards rushing. You got Brock Hacker leading and passing, 121 yards. Then Baylor Schillen is his top target at 100 yards per game. And then Brock Hacker's doing it with his legs. On the flip side, Rodrigo Martinez is going to have a game. That young man's averaging 321 yards. He's balled out every game so far this year. He's going to have to ball out again to give the Isleta Indians an opportunity to advance. Him and Martin Castro at 82.4 yards rushing. And then Armando Guzman, 83.8 yards receiving. If they can step up and play, they get themselves a chance. Now, here's the thing. Isleta offense is potent. 46.7 points per game compared to Canyon's 26.9. I think at the end of the day, Isleta is the second team that will punch their ticket and continue to play in the postseason. I think that's 2 teams will be advancing that we're calling. Del Valle and Isleta right now on Thursday. And then the final game on Thursday is Pebble Hills versus San Angelo Central. 2 7-3 teams. So Pebble Hills is going to travel to San Angelo to take on San Angelo Central. And Pebble Hills is going to have to play a very good game. 2 really evenly matched teams. Pebble Hills averaging 30.4 points per game, 30.4, and San Angelo Central is averaging basically 37. They're at 36.9, so they're basically averaging 37 points per game. On the ground, Pebble Hills 173, San Angelo Central 195. Passing, they're basically even. 201 for Pebble Hills, 201 for San Angelo. Receiving 197 to 200. Pebble Hills is led by Zephaniah Moon on the ground rushing 83.2 yards. Joe Fernandez leads the team with 171 yards passing, and L.J. Bailey 61.4 yards receiving. On the flip side, you got Xavion Johnson averaging 96.1 yards for San Angelo Central. Micah Smith, 199.4 yards passing. Colton Hill leads him in receiving at 77.4 yards. And then Michael Smith's doing it with his legs on the ground as well. So this is a toss-up for me, guys. My heart says, my heart's always with the El Paso team when it comes to even, saying that Pebble Hills gets the victory, punches her ticket and advances. My head says this road game, because it's supposed to be a neutral site. This is basically it's a road game for Pebble Hills. And so let's see something. Let me see something here. Pebble Hills record on the road. What is their record on the road? Pebble Hills is 4-2 away. 3-1 at home. So it's not like they can't win on the road. You know what? I'm calling it. Pebble Hills wins. They're the third team that's going to win this week on Thursday. Punch their ticket to the next round. Walks away with a bi-district championship. We're going to call it Pebble Hills Spartans win. So we're saying half the teams will win on Thursday. That's what we're calling right now. This one's probably one of the toughest toss-ups there, but that's what we're calling. All right, now we're going to take a really quick break here, and we will be right back. I think. Hold on. If I don't mess this up. Hold on. I might have messed this up already. Yeah, I did. Let me fix this, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back. I'm glad I checked, because this would have been devastating. So what do you guys' thoughts? What do you in the comments? Let us know if you agree with what our assessment is. If you don't, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But let us know in the comments. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let's go! Let's motocross! Let's go to the moon! For the first time!
No thanks. I drink Aspire healthy energy drinks. Just half the caffeine of those other drinks. So they're perfect for life's everyday, unextreme moments. Moments like joining that meeting that should have been an email. Hi, Susan. Getting the motivation to go on a walk. And honestly, just staying up past 8 p.m. Aspire energy drinks also have 0 sugar, 0 calories, and are made with natural caffeine from green tea, which means no crashes, no jitters, and no anxiety.
No one cares about your muscles.
Half the caffeine is still packed with all the flavor, with choices like mixed berry, strawberry watermelon, raspberry acai, and more.
This is good. And chill.
Life is intense enough. Drink the energy drink designed with real life and moderation in mind. Aspire energy drinks. Refreshingly unextreme energy.
Less clutter, more clarity. This is Distill Union, where smart design meets real life. From wallets that snap shut just right to eyewear that's built to last, every detail is made to simplify your day. No flash, no fuss. Just clean lines, clever function, and modern style that moves with you. Distill Union, smart by design. Simplify your everyday. Use promo code FSEN and receive 20% off your entire order.
Friday's games real quick. So this is what we got going on Friday. A lot of games. 11 games going on Friday. So let's jump into these things here. So, Anthony will travel to Pecos High School to take on Wall. Anthony 2-8, Wall Hawks 10-0. I'm not going to even go deep into this game. We're calling Wall wins, and it's going to be a lopsided game, and that will end Anthony's season, and Wall will continue. Next up, Riverside has a neutral site game versus Dumas. Dumas 7-3, Riverside 8-2. Now, this right here is going to be a close matchup, folks. A very, very close matchup. Dumas is averaging 38 points per game. Riverside 47.3. Dumas is Riverside's averaging 460 yards per game. Dumas is led by Ruben Garcia, rushing for 150 per game. Parker Dunham, 103 yards passing. Then he's also leads the team with 222 total yards. So he's doing it with his feet. And then Ruben Garcia, 65 yards receiving. Riverside on the flip side is led by Carlos Rojas III. Young man can ball. He's been balling all year. Very impressed with that young man, averaging 341.5 yards per game. Leads the team at 202 yards rushing, 134 yards passing. And then Izzy Garcia, 64 yards receiving. Okay. I'm going to say Riverside should win this game. The only problem is that it's a neutral site game. If it was at Riverside, I'd be all for Riverside winning this game. It's a neutral site game. Whew, this is a tough one. This is probably one of the toughest. This one right here can go either way. We are going to go with we're going to say Riverside loses a close one. And I hope I'm wrong. Lord, I hope I'm wrong. We're going to say Riverside loses a close one, but I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Next game. Eastwood will host Friendship here in the Borderland at Eastwood High School Friday, 6 p.m. It's another game. If you're on the east side of El Paso, if you're an Eastwood Trooper fan, don't watch the stream. I love their stream, but don't watch the stream. Go to the game. Go support these young men and help them in their efforts. Now, Friendship is 4-6. Troopers are 9-1. Friendship is averaging 386 yards per game. Eastwood, 415 yards. Friendship is led by Braden Dunkerson, 43.5 yards rushing per game. Quad Ferris airing it out at 282 yards per game. And then Chase Campbell, 127. That east side secondary is going to get tested. They're going to get tested. They can get some pressure with their front four and not have to put 5 and 6 to try to get pressure on the quarterback. They give themselves a chance, but their secondary is going to get tested this game. Now, east side is led by Matthew Ramirez on the ground with 101 yards, and Kingston Jeffries at 189 passing, 241 yards total offense for Kingston. Young man's been balling. And then Jordan Nava leads the team at 53.4 yards. They got some weapons out there at Eastwood too, though. That secondary is going to get tested. But if you're an Eastwood fan, go pack the stadium out. You got to go support them. Go support this team and go root them on. Create a hostile atmosphere in the stadium. Like, it should be hostile. That other team should feel you guys. So go support them. Don't watch the stream. Go to the game. Go to the game. That's all I'm going to say. We're picking Eastwood to win here in a close game. That's 5. I think that's 5 victories we've said so far. Parkland goes to Tascosa. Parkland 3-7, Tascosa 6-4. They have to travel to Tascosa. I'm not going to dive too deep into this game. We're going to pick Tascosa to win by at least 2 touchdowns over Parkland. Next up, Austin and Randall, another tight, close game. Austin will travel to Winks High School to take on Randall. They're on the road. These road games are tough to win. Two really, I'm going to keep saying really tight. This is a close matchup. Austin's averaging 34.4 points per game. Randall's at 30.4. These are two evenly matched teams here. Austin, 421 yards total offense to 294. Austin's doing it on the ground, 367 to 128 for Randall. 367, basically 368 yards rushing, passing for 54 yards, and Randall's at 128 and 166. Now, Austin is led by Roberto Flores, 107.5 yards rushing per game. Rene Luanga passing for 46.2, and Andrew Andujo, 26.9. Then Robert Flores leads the team, 107.5 yards per game. Flip side, Drayton Ray, 43.7 yards rushing for Randall. Kaysen Beaton, 116 yards passing. Phoenix Sherwood, 46 yards receiving. And then Kaysen Beaton, 151 total yards. So, this is going to be a tough game for Austin. We're going to pick Randall to win the game just because Austin has to travel. That travel is real. That travel is real. Even though the run travels, the run game and defense does travel, and that's going to keep Austin in this game. It's going to be a close game, but we're picking Randall to win to end Austin's season. Heard it here. Heard it here. Next game before we take a break, we're going to look at Chapin versus Abilene Cooper. So Chapin will make the trip to Abilene to take on Abilene Cooper. Chapin 7-3, Cooper 6-4. 6 p.m. kickoff. That's at Central Time, 5 p.m. El Paso time. Chapin's ran off 7 straight after starting the season 0-3. That's a hot team. And they are led by, and again, these are 2 really close match teams. Chapin's averaging 37 points a game. Abilene Cooper 42 points a game. These are 2 very close match games right here. Teams. Chapin's led by Mr. Do-It-All, Davion Singleton. Ever since they put him at quarterback, this team has been clicking on all cylinders. He's averaging 145 yards rushing, 100 yards passing. Corwin Martin, 51 yards receiving. Davion's putting up 254 yards per game. He is putting up, and on the flip side is basically his it's Davion 2.0 or 0.5. It's basically Davion on the other side where you got Jayden Carrillo, 144 yards passing, but he's at 228 per game total offense. Cooper is led by Peyton Ewing at 105 yards rushing, and Zaylon Johnson at 74.3 yards. Chapin lost to Cooper last year, so this is a rematch in the first round. Those Huskies have a nasty taste in their mouth from losing. Like I said, they're on a hot streak, 7 straight. Chapin's 3-1 on the road. 4-2 at home, 3-1 on the road. So that team is comfortable playing on the road. That is a nice travel to Abilene. This is a toss-up. We're gonna go with the Huskies. We're gonna be the homer here. We're going with the Huskies to win this game in a tight one. I think it might come down to the last series. Davion's gonna take him down the field and score to win the game. We're going with the Huskies to go forward. That's 16. That's 6 victories we've picked. That's 6. Some people are gonna think I'm crazy. That's 6 victories that we're picking. And here's the 7th victory because Andrews plays Memorial. And Memorial's 7-3. Andrews is 8-2. This is going to be a tight game, a tough game for Andrews coming out of the chute, especially if they want to make the playoff run that they think they can make. This is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a really, really tough game. Andrews 8-2. Memorial 7-3. Memorial's averaging 40.1, so 41 points a game. Andrews is at 44. 3-point difference. These are 2 explosive offenses, folks. This is going to come down to which defense can stop which offense and who doesn't turn the ball over. Ah, man. Memorial's averaging 431 yards per game. Total offense to Andrews is 436. 2 well evenly matched teams. 1.2 sacks per game for Memorial, 1.7 for Andrews. This is going to be a tough game. A very tough game. Memorial led by Eric Powell, 111 yards rushing. Joe Castells, 206 yards passing. Jeremiah Dean, 102.6 yards receiving. While Andrews is led by Carmelo Jones at 104 yards rushing. Jamari Milton, 171 yards. He hasn't had to throw the ball a lot. I think he might have to in order for them to make a playoff run. I think he has the ability to do so. He's shown it last year. He just hasn't had to throw it a lot this year, but I think if he gets into a shootout and he has to, I think he can do it. And then you got Avant Clayton. Man, this young man is electric. Get the ball in his hands, he's electric. And he's had a quiet year. His sophomore year has been really quiet. But But I think him and Carmelo break out, and Andrews wins this game. I think Andrews wins this game. Jamari's done a lot with it on his legs. For Andrews, I think Andrews wins. If you're in the Northeast, go to this game. Go support the Andrews Eagles. Go to the game. Don't sit at home. Go to the game. Get out and go support these young men. They need all the support they can get. This is going to be a huge, huge game. Go out and support. Go out and support. All right, folks, we're going to take one more break, and we'll sum up the last 4 games. We'll be right back after this. Stick with us. Thank you for sticking around if you're still there. We'll be right back after this.
Tona leggings, the ultimate blend of style and performance in gym leggings. With a 100% fit and happiness guarantee, these are the last black leggings you will ever need. Use promo code FSEN and receive 16% off your entire order.
Love coffee, but not the crash. Meet Savarista, craft coffee reimagined for balance. Every roast delivers the rich flavor you crave, with little to no caffeine, so you can stay calm, focused, and in control. Ethically sourced, small batch roasted, and designed for people who live life intentionally, one cup at a time. Visit Savarista.com and use promo code FSEN to get 25% off your order. Savarista, bold flavor, balanced energy.
Looking good should feel good, and with Hypernatural, it actually does. Their polos and shirts are made from natural jade and crab shell fibers engineered for softness, cooling comfort, and next-level performance. It's sustainable luxury that works as hard as you do. From the boardroom to the weekend, Hypernatural keeps you fresh, sharp, and confident all day long. Hypernatural, better by nature. Discover yours at hypernaturalstyle.com. Use promo code FSEN and get 20% off your order.
All right, folks, we got 4 games left. 4 games left. We're going to do these last 4 games, and we'll wrap this show up. Next up, we got East Lake taking on Odessa Permian. East Lake 5-5 travels to Odessa to take on Permian 9-1. I'm not going to dive too deep in this game. I know there's a lot of East Lake fans out there. East Lake loses this game in a walk-off for Odessa Permian. East Lake loses by at least 2 touchdowns. That's what we say. And that will end their season. Next we go to Franklin Cougars taking on Midland Legacy. Franklin, neutral playoff game, as Franklin will travel to Midland's Estalled Broadband to take on Midland Legacy. It's supposed to be a neutral site. That's a home game for Midland Legacy right there. That stadium's going to be packed with Midland fans. And as such, it's going to be a tough game for Franklin. It's going to be a tough game for Franklin. And here's why. Midland Legacy averaging 399 yards per game. Franklin 541. Midland Legacy is led by Hayes Ham, 101 yards rushing. J.P. Reyes, 250 yards passing. Jay Braylon Andrews, 69.2 yards receiving. The flip side, Ernie Powers leads Franklin. Ernie's been Franklin's offense the whole season, and they've not been shy about that. Everybody knows this. Averaging 334 yards per game. Lucas Garza is only passing for 104.6. Franklin will definitely see man-to-man coverage on the outsides. Lucas Garza is going to have to win this game for Franklin for them to advance. I hate to say it, first round game, Ernie's going to see a lot of 8 in the box. A lot of 8 in the box. 7, 8 in the box. Garza's going to have to, he's not going to have to throw for 300 yards for them to win, but he's going to definitely have to make it to where they're going to have to start dropping people back in the secondary to open things up for Ernie. But I think Franklin wins. This is 7. Franklin wins in a close game against Midland Legacy to continue their season. You heard it here first. Next up, El Dorado hosts Amarillo Sandies. This is going to be a tough game for somebody. So Amarillo is averaging 437 yards per game, 250 yards passing, 186 rushing, to El Dorado's 531. Amarillo is led by Jude Donovan, 136 yards rushing. Jet Lopez, 239 passing, and Austin Sluter, 90 yards receiving. El Dorado's led by do-everything running back Ryan Estrada, 253 yards, basically 254 yards rushing. Bryce Booth, 163 passing. And Jadarius Sanders, 67.5 yards. Very electric when he gets his hands on the ball. We're going to go El Dorado. We're going to go El Dorado here with the victory. So that's eight games that we're saying El Paso teams are going to win. And then the last game on the schedule is Americas and that El Dorado will be hosting Amarillo at SAC 2, and Americas will be hosting Monterey at SAC 1. Both teams 6-4. Monterey makes the trip down to the Borderland. America's averaging 415 yards per game to 207 for Monterey. Darian Moore, 99.5 yards rushing. Jonah Reed, 195 yards passing. Corin Boyd, 93 yards receiving. Cameron Johnson leads Americas at 147 rushing. Emilio Gonzalez leads him in 136 yards passing. Maurice Edwards leads him in 69 yards receiving. Tail of the tape here. So both teams played Franklin. Monterey lost to Franklin 49-42. Americas lost to Franklin 73-20. Monterey is averaging 34.6 yards per game. Points per game. Americas is averaging 35.2. We're going to say Americas loses a close game against Monterey. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but we think Monterey pulls off a close victory against Americas to end their season. And that will wrap up the playoffs, our outlook for the playoffs. So we picked 8 teams to win, 8 out of 17. It's going to be an interesting Thursday and Friday. We'll see how right we are. I'm sure I'll hear about it on social media if we're wrong. But hey, folks, that's going to wrap up this FSEN Daily. This is probably the longest show we've done to date. Thank you guys for continuing support. Continue to watch. We'll be back on again tomorrow to look at high school hoops and some of these football games. Peace out. Have a good day.